Morning, everyone. You guys look like you're more awake this week than last. Welcome. Good morning. So, from the older kids, what is this gospel today primarily about? From the older ones. I want to see some of the older kids' hands up that are like helping out. Kind of. He said about Jesus going town to town preaching the good news of God. But who are the special people that are mentioned in the gospel today? Mary Magdalene. So Mary Magdalene and a couple other women, right? So these are the special people in the gospel today. So these are particularly who this gospel right here that we just read are about. Do you have a question? What? Yeah. All right. So these women today in the gospel play a very special role. What role was that? What did they do? Do you know? They followed Jesus, but there's something specific that they were doing.
They were following Jesus and his footsteps.
They were following Jesus, yes, but what did they do in today's gospel? Yes, they provided resources to help Christ and the apostles with their preaching, their teaching, their missionary work. They were following him around, doing this. They did it from their own resources. Can anyone tell me some other roles that women have played throughout all the Gospels, not just today's, but any of them? Yeah. Sure, wives, but in the Gospel specifically, what are some of the major roles, important things? She gave birth to Jesus. Yeah, Mary did. Good job. What else? Saints and nuns, they're not exactly in the, well, saints are in the gospel, not any nuns. But what are some of the actions they did? What was so special about some of these women? Prayed to God, okay.
Some of them, like when Jesus died, they went to visit him in the tomb.
Yes. So at the first people that showed up to the tomb after Christ died were women. They were going there to anoint his body, to care for him as part of the burial procedures. If you notice, the men were at home either asleep or who knows what they were doing, but they hadn't come yet. The women were there first. They were faithful. What else has the women done in the gospel? Elizabeth? Yeah, Mary goes pregnant with Jesus to go care for a pregnant cousin, Elizabeth, who is in her womb. Do you know? John the Baptist, very good. What else have women done in the gospel? Yeah.
They followed Jesus.
And follow Jesus, very good. What's a specific thing that you can remember? Can I help? Seeing if I can go ahead. No, not what I'm looking for. What do you got? Women in the gospel. They have a strong faith. You just stole my entire purpose of this homily. Thank you. Teachers, any idea one other major role that women play in the gospel? Any teachers get their hands up? No? Okay. I'm going to call on you guys every week, so you might want to just be prepared. All right. So one of the other major things that happens, so we talked about after Christ, after he's crucified, how there was women who went early to the grave to anoint him. But who was at the cross with him? Do you know who was at the cross with him? At the foot of the cross when he was dying. Mary. Very good. Mary was at the foot of the cross. So we have throughout and there's many more even in the Old Testament and throughout the gospel of all these women being faithful to Christ and at oftentimes more faithful than the men. It's not to downplay men. I mean, we're important too, but women are important in the gospels. These holy women today are really a good model for us to follow. They have a faithfulness that each one of us, whether male or female, boy or girl, can follow and imitate. Because regardless of where Christ is going, they were there supporting him, providing for him out of their own resources, making sure that he could accomplish his mission. But more than that, they have this desire to serve, to be of service. We think about Mary and Martha. Mary was sitting at the foot of Jesus. Martha was up around wanting to serve our Lord. There's this desire to serve within the women in the gospel. And that's where our hearts need to be. We need to want to serve. We need to be ready to serve. Whether boy or girl, man or woman, our hearts need to be so closely united to Christ that we want to serve him specifically, but also to serve him through everyone we meet. I notice, are there any guy teachers that I've just not seen out there today? Most of your teachers are women. There's a desire to serve. They're good models that you can follow too. They're trying to practice out the faith. They're trying to live out the faith by giving and serving and being faithful to Christ by teaching in his church. So if the women in the gospel are too hard to comprehend, look to your teachers. They're a good model to follow as well.